Hello, welcome. Happy Aries Equinox. There's definitely an energetic shift underway, and I know I've felt it. Been having some experiences, some purging. Took a break from doing readings for a little while, a few days, seemed like longer. And I felt called to at least come on live and do a collective reading for us all and explain as to why I have not been doing any zodiac readings this week. I was going through my own energetic shift, which required me to have a lot of stillness. Hi, Patsy. A lot of deep inner stuff, inner work. That's definitely, it's been an interesting couple of days, but I feel good. I feel better. Definitely, I personally had a shocking event that was linked to one of my life lessons that it didn't take me long to figure out, but it did take me a few days to really work my way out. Hi, Nicole. Oh, what a week. Yeah, definitely. So I have been just following the flow, and I really had a lot of, it took a lot of my own personal energy to kind of work through some of the experiences that I have been having and purging, releasing stored trauma, which we're all doing, or, we're all in the frequency that's meant to help us release, because the more that we can release and purge, we have to actually feel and acknowledge the trauma, the pain. And sometimes when it's really stored deeply and we are unconscious to it, the universe will bring another event in to trigger that memory, that cellular memory back up, for us to have that release, that emotional, energetic release. You got a free paperback in the mail. Nice. From the Hoffman Project. Interesting. So much has come forward this week, says Nicole. Yes, it has. It has. Oh, good. I look forward to it, Patsy. There have been a lot of, on top of the emotional release and purge, there have been a lot of really incredible synchronicities and experiences that have been going on as well. So that's nice. It's a reminder to remind us, hey, remember why you're here. And you're not here to be tortured by your stored traumas. You're here to release them, because this new frequency that we are experiencing on the planet, and it will continue to, we're rising in frequency. Now, our perception of time, which does not even exist in the quantum field, we're in a more of a density, although the vibration of Earth has definitely shifted up. So that's also increasing our light quotient, our frequency. However, we're not going to be able to actually experience our true gifts and powers and shift from the third density up into the fifth, sixth, seventh density until we are able to have a clear channel. And in order to have a clear channel means that we've got to release stored emotions, stuck emotions. And again, it's not easy, because sometimes these emotions we're not fully aware that they're even stored, because they happened a long time ago, and there had been reoccurrences that were trying to help us purge. But depending on, if most of the people that listen to me are light workers, have incarnated here on the planet for the mission of raising the frequency, the consciousness, the vibration of ourselves and the planet. We've had a lot of stuff happen in our childhood that, and we also kind of shut down. We don't want to feel all those feelings. But it doesn't go anywhere. Energy, it will stay stuck in the body, causing physical ailments and diseases and pains. Now we're also going to experience these as the frequency shifts in our body. We're going to feel the stuck energy as pain or as rashes, or there's been a lot of digestive issues going around lately with people. The solar plexus is clearing, and the sacral and the root. So all the lower chakras, we're still working through clearing, but that goes to show you that we're working on moving beyond living in survival mode. And it's probably for many of us, it still feels like, oh my God, I'm back in survival mode. But no, that's not what's happening at all. So I'm here to tell you it's not easy. It's not fun going through the purge, but if we can at least have the awareness, the understanding, and with knowing that if I feel these feelings and I release them out through whatever the emotion is, crying or anger, or acknowledge it and release it, it's going to really assist me in being more present in my now moments, which then taps us into the quantum field, which holds infinite possibilities. We all have these stored memories of understanding when we can get really present in our day-to-day, in our now moment, and feel the frequencies, and really get into our body. Most of the time, most of us, especially with childhood traumas, have unconsciously learned how to detach from our bodies and dissociate from our bodies. And I found that was part of my, the last encounter I had over the weekend. It was a very shocking. I did not see it coming, which is hard for me because, being intuitive, I pretty much see everything that's coming before it comes. Did not see it coming, and it caught me off guard, and I was able to recognize that I detached like that, left my body. And when I do that, I'm still conscious of what is going on, but I have no recollection of like what's been said, what I said, what was done after that. It's really fuzzy because I'm not there. It's like, it's shock. It kind of shocks you into that. Hi, Lisa. Lisa says, rashes, yes. I know, I woke the day after I had my experience, I woke up Sunday and my lips were inflamed again, almost as if they were sunburnt and red, and now they're just really dry. Nicole, how long is this one lasting? It's hard to tell. It's like pulses and waves of energy, and it's hard to put like a time frame on energy, but I will say that you can shift out of it faster. You can shift out of the uncomfortable feelings and energies faster when you allow yourself to purge, when you allow the emotions to come out and you just surrender to the now moment. And once you've cleared whatever stored, or usually there's an event or somebody that's kind of pouring salt in the wounds or triggering us when we have really deeply stored emotions. But when you just surrender and allow it to come out, and then you'll feel lighter, you'll feel better. Start putting into practice being as present as possible with now, and get outside in nature, especially now in the northern hemisphere is turning into spring. Although it was snowing this morning, it was very cold here, but the flowers are starting to bloom. Connect to nature, especially trees. They hold a special frequency. Trees have the fifth dimensional, I don't want to get too off, but trees will help us get into that higher state quicker. And really anchor into that frequency, that new frequency, that the pulses, the energies are really, it's a lot of energy flowing through the body. And depending on how much you have stored and stuck, it's kind of like labor, for those of you who are mothers and gave birth. I was in labor for 22 and a half hours, natural, no drugs, by choice, until they decided to do an emergency C-section. So that took a lot longer. It was a lot more painful for me to finally give birth than, say, my sister, who gave birth in like 30 minutes. But actually, that's not true, but I just use that as an analogy. Each and every one of us has our own unique experience. And if you need help, go in with the intention of, I am clearing trauma, I am clearing stuck energy, and seek. I know for Nicole, over at Solace Farms, Anj does tremendous Reiki practice. She's done some Reiki on me, and it's amazing. Energetic healing to help move some of that stuck energy. But you have to be working with that energy yourself intentionally as well. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Instinctive, animalistic. I love the trees. Yes, me too. I'm finding my tree and sitting with a book for a while. Good. Yeah, that it will help tremendously. I must have been a little monkey in my past life, either that or a sloth. Funny you say sloth. I've been talking for the last couple of weeks about how exhausted I've been, how tired I've been. And that exhaustion peaked. Well, I actually broke through it, and then I had this encounter with someone. And I'm not going to go into it, just because in case he listens or watches, I want to protect everybody. It's all good. I understand from an energetic perspective why certain things had to happen, but man, oh man, that just took me down, and it's like I can't get enough sleep. I've been sleeping and sleeping. I took today off of work and stayed home, and I finished my book. That I got a book that came in the mail Saturday, and really good one. It's called Divine Design. Listen to your body. Yes, rest is necessary. Don't fight it. No, I always learn the hard way, but I have learned to listen to my body. And again, when I get out of a state of fear or lack or worry, and really listen to my body and get present, that is when the universe delivers it. I'm always given what I'm needed when I need it. And I know this. There's just like old stuff still stored in me that has this consciousness of, if I don't work my ass off every day, I'm not going to survive. And I'm really actually working hard to clear that consciousness from my being completely. Me too, sleeping and reading. Oh, good. So we're all together in this sleeping and reading. Let my cat in. Hold on a second. So, this is an interesting book that I just finished here. It's called The Divine Design. And if any of you have heard of Lori Ladd, she has a YouTube channel as well. And I stumbled upon her a couple of years ago, but she's been doing podcasts on this book, and I caught a couple of them. I'm like, this sounds really interesting. I need to, and I was kind of nudged to get the book too. I had an Amazon gift card, so I put that to use. So, trying to think if there's anything else coming up before I pull some cards. We have the Aries equinox, the sun. Here in the United States where we are, Nicole, the sun doesn't move into Aries until like 11:30 tonight or something like that. But I think over in the UK, you guys are already in Aries season, if I'm not mistaken. Regardless, that's going to give us a little bit more energy. Mercury is getting ready to go pre-shadow retrograde soon, or maybe already is. But this is also a good thing. Like, again, the planets move in a perfect design as well, and it's all perfectly orchestrated to really help activate us, awaken us, shift us out of old consciousness and old paradigms, lack consciousness, victim consciousness. And you know, it's never a one and done. It's more subtle, sometimes not so subtle. Sometimes we do need a little push instead of a nudge. But ultimately, I know that every time I go through these phases where it's like, God, when is this over? Like, when can I have my life back, kind of thing? When I finally get out of that state and I surrender to it and I allow it and I release what needs to be released, my life definitely shifts in a much more beautiful and flow. It gets me into the flow state so that I'm able to go with the flow. Things just open up. Things just appear. Opportunities present themselves. I've had Saturn squaring my natal Jupiter, and that's almost over too, thankfully. Brings up so many challenges and obstacles, and puts blocks in my way, and it's like, and having that knowingness, it's being patient, understanding that it's time for me to slow down and not push so hard and follow the guidance, the direction that I'm energetically being led, you know? Sunshine always helps too, big time, big time. Love, love, love the sunshine. And I did get out there. I got outside a little bit today. It was cold today, though. And we had such a nice teaser of warm weather last week. But it is what it is, right? So yeah, I see good things coming up nice boosts of energy that will be helpful. And you can always ask for additional help as well, and guidance through the difficult parts of the journey. A lot of times you're not going to recognize it, though, if you're stuck in a state of anger or depression and all of that. We kind of just have to go through those emotions and feelings until we can like break free and recognize. And like this morning, this was the most adorable thing. And I've also been, and you guys probably too, picking up like a sponge. Like, didn't matter what energetic boundaries I had, picking up like a sponge the collective energy, and especially the energy of this other person that I had an interaction with on Saturday. I couldn't clear it. I was doing everything I knew to do, and it took 2 days before it left me fully. Yesterday, what was it? Oh, Sunday. Sunday, I didn't think I was going to get out of bed. I went down into this deep, dark depression and sadness, and it was really torturous, and it didn't feel like it was mine. So I took my phone out. I did what a human does. I took my phone out and went on Facebook to distract the loop that kept going around and around and around and around, and it wouldn't stop. It was replaying the event from Saturday night, and I just couldn't break it. So I go on Facebook just for a second, and the post that had popped up that I saw, the only thing that I saw, said, if you have a book nearby, which I happened to have one on my nightstand that I was reading, turn to page 18 and read line 4. So I did that, and what did it say? I'll tell you, because this was the book, and it got me out of bed. It was really cool. 1, 2, 3, 4. Direct sunlight provides fuel for the physical forms. And I look out my window and the sun's out and I'm like, all right. I grab my blankets and I go outside on my hammock. I stayed in my pajamas all day, but I like grabbed my book and my blanket and I just laid out in my hammock and read all day long in the sun. And I felt it, like it helped clear. It finally like brought me back into my own energy, but definitely collective energy. Oh my God. Um, we absolutely did. It's hard because I really thought this was I thought I did this already when my mom passed and everything went to shit. Yeah, you know, we find ourselves saying that a lot. Even myself with what I was clearing the other day. I'm like, I've gone through this so many times. I've acknowledged the past trauma that it's linked to. I've acknowledged my reactions and responses. Sometimes these contracts are just written and they have to play out. But we are dissolving these contracts. And when I say contracts, they're soul contracts that we have with family and people from our soul pod that, you know, we've all decided to incarnate and meet up in this lifetime at some point. And as we shift in vibration and frequency, these karmic contracts, these soul contracts dissolve, and as well as the experiences that we have embedded in our DNA, that's in our Akashic records, it clears it so that we can become the true creators. Not to say that you're not going to have a little shock value in your life experience from time to time, but it's not going to be these recurring traumatic or, you know, these kinds of experiences. So yeah, I know what you mean. I'm right there too with you. I kept my phone and laptop off on those kinds of days. I usually do too. I don't know what got into me. I was not in my own energy that day at all. Like I woke up and I still had this person's energy and the thought and the reoccurring flashing in my head. I was just like a child, like, please make this go away. Please make this stop. Because it was really intense. I've realized that's something that always made me feel better. Hello, Granny Paula. Thank goodness, because I've had enough. I know. The more we shift in vibration and frequency, and the more that we purge what is coming up for us to purge, and it goes in layers and in cycles. That's when we really start to embody the new light that's coming in. Like it's flowing through our body. It's trying to break up all of this fragmented stuff and clear it. So that's how we're feeling it in painful ways, physically painful, energetically painful, emotionally painful. But just like with a sickness, you got to get it out of your system. And then you start to feel better. And when you start to feel better, we start to actually embody and hold these newer light frequencies in us. And that's what's been going on. And it's going to increase more and more and more as the year goes on. Allergic to BS these days. Oh, yeah. BS allergies. Your multiple sclerosis has been off the charts this week too. I can only imagine. I'm sure, because I literally, like, I've been pretty pain-free for a while, but these last 2 months, actually, I've been hit with, I got the stomach virus, and then I got sick again, and then I got really bad seasonal allergies, which finally cleared up. Then I woke up and my back was out. I could barely move. I could barely get dressed. It's like one thing after the other. I'm like, oh, spring flares are bad. They have been really bad, really bad. So yeah, whatever you can do, Nicole, to keep yourself, you know, nurture yourself, take good care, and do some energetic clearing, even if it is, you know, taking like an Epsom salt bath every now and then to kind of help ease up some of the flare-ups too, might help. And drink lots of water. I've been like so thirsty, but that helps sort of clear the system as well. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are all here. I like literally when I again also super super sensitive, energetically sensitive. And on top of that, even last week I was feeling super sensitive. And then I kept getting these feelings of imposter syndrome. I had another trigger. It's coming from every angle at me. Oh, it does feel like that, doesn't it? I know. I kind of had that feeling too. And then I'm like, I'm trying not to be a baby, but this really sucks. And it does. It's not fun. So it's good that we all can share and know that you're not alone in that. But yeah, MS, that's got to be a really tough one to flow through, especially in these energies. So take good care of yourself. Um, oh, what was I gonna say? Now I lost it. Huh. That's interesting. Oh, imposter syndrome. That was another thing that just like hit me out of nowhere at all. And it came because it wasn't really imposter syndrome. I guess that's not exactly the right word. When I was on Facebook, Jeff Brown is someone that I appreciate, and he's an author, a writer, and has a lot of good things to say. But every now and then he goes on and he has these really angry rants that he goes at it, and there's truth to them. However, the one that I seem to pop up on, yeah, I love Jeff Brown too, but this one was like, it was all talking about healers and shamans and light worker, like calling us all frauds, and like that we don't know what we're doing with people in trauma, and that you've got to, or telling people you've got to be really discerning, which I do agree, be really discerning when you go to a reader or a shaman or an energetic healer, because if you're working through a lot of deep trauma and they don't know how to handle that, or they don't recognize or recommend you going to a specialized trauma support therapist, you're doing more harm than good and all this. And I do have that. Yeah, he does have righteous anger. I do have that awareness when I work with people, and I do work with people who are clearing some pretty intense trauma. But I know the universe really brings, the only people that I have done one-on-ones with so far have a very unique trauma that is almost identical to mine. So what I do also in my sessions, I don't always read, but sometimes I just guide. I keep my frequency. It's almost like Reiki, where I'm not touching them, but I keep my frequency and allow them to go through theirs. And their frequency starts to match my frequency. They start to feel better and open up. So I kind of know what I'm doing. Okay, the guides are saying, I know what I'm doing. I just had a bit of imposter syndrome from that. Like I had to second guess myself. Do I know what I'm doing? Because I know what it's like to go through heavy trauma, and how people can have psychotic breaks. And healing can be lifelong. Sure, absolutely. It's not a one and done. There's never a quick fix when it comes to healing. This is life. It's pretty in depth. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to us humans and our human experiences, especially in the past when we were in a lot more. The energy on the planet was extremely dense. We were in a lot of density when it didn't really push through to about 50% until the harmonic convergence in 1998, I think that was 1998. That's when there was a big frequency shift within the planet, and that opened up. There's a lot more that happened then, but that opened up space for us humans to start to evolve and clear and increase our light. But there was a lot more that was going on in the other realms as well. So yeah, it's been an interesting ride for sure. But anyway, yeah, so I haven't touched my cards in days, which is not like me at all. So I know that this is a big shift in frequency when I'm like hermiting myself for days on end, finding it difficult to get out of bed. And if I do, it's just to go outside and sit in nature. Yeah, but I'm back. And does it grip? I'm not sure about that question. Let's get into the reading. This is interesting. Okay. I can't see what that emoji is, Paula. It's all dark. Is it what is that? A bat? A bat, okay. Oh my gosh. I know, I do. I don't even know how to do that. Yeah, I got him. I got him off. That's funny because I was talking to somebody else earlier today and they were telling me their experiences with eagle sightings. And then they were telling me their experiences of their ascension, their enlightenment, and how they recognize in like just last year even, they called themselves a bat. She said, I was a bat, meaning like I was flying backwards or something weird like that. Whack-a-mole, yeah. I couldn't see it. It was like black. That was just a strange comment. I'm like, where's this one going? I'm pretty sure I know, but I was waiting for the other shoe to drop, you know? Oh, you gotta love it. All right, let's get us a reading. I haven't even pulled any cards for myself. It feels like a lot longer. Now that I think about it, I did a personal reading for somebody on Saturday, so it's only Tuesday. Hasn't really been that long. That was the last time I touched my cards. Okay. So I'm reading from, I haven't pulled these cards out in a while, Divine Feather. We have Oriole. It says, a new creative venture is on the horizon. See it as a positive change. And that's a beautiful start for the Aries Equinox, which is also, actually, this is Happy New Year. This is the astrological new year, at least for Western tropical astrology. Oh no, something just knocked you off. Huh. I was watching magpies playing in the garden today. Oh, I had a ton of cardinals this morning out by my bird feeder. A lot. I thought I knew what you were talking about. Oriole. The Oriole messenger alerts you that positive change is coming your way. You are being urged to embrace your connection to creativity and use it while you see opportunities ahead. This does not mean to focus solely on artistic outputs, but also to employ creativity in all aspects of your life. Weave new ideas and innovative thinking into any venture. The sun is shining upon you, ensuring success, happiness, and a positive outcome. This messenger also reminds you to pause and see pleasure in the simple things. Is your tendency to see the obstacles? Move past that now and see the bright path laid out before you. Yes. And I really want to also mention something that I've been experiencing lately. I was able to break out of it. Actually, when I just finished this book, it really like, boo, I'm out of that fog. It felt like I was walking through like deep mud for like a week or so. And almost like this foggy haze had taken over me. Not always, but there were a lot of times where it would just kind of like come in. And when those times arrived, it brought it didn't allow me to have the normal positive outlook and anticipation, like things are going to get better. Like, okay, there's a challenge, but it's showing me something, and I'm grateful for that, and it's going to get better. Like, I have to know that it's going to get better. I couldn't get there for days. It was like I became really jaded. And I think it was because of this most recent experience that triggered a deep wound in me. Several, actually. It triggered several deep wounds in me that I knew weren't fully healed. And I guess, well, okay, I'm picking up a lot now. But we can get really jaded on the journey, especially when we are faced with obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. It makes it hard to look at the simple pleasures or be in a positive mindset all of the time. And of course, we don't have to be positive mindset all the time, but a good portion of the time is helpful for sure. If something's going to piss you off, certainly don't pretend like it's a positive. You want to release that energy with whatever it brings up, but then don't carry that with you. And I guess I was carrying some stuff. It was like stuck. And that's like for many people like me, my childhood wounds, I actually had to be, I had to grow up really fast by the age of 10 and be responsible. And I had to swallow all of my emotions and be really strong and brave. And I kind of kept that as a pattern in my life for like ever. And so it's hard for me to cry. It's hard for me to feel emotions and release them because it's such an embedded pattern of mine. I'm very conscious and aware of it. And so I really now have been taking more of the time to feel the feelings and bring up the emotions to release them. I think it gets easier too when you revisit these traumas over and over again and you're aware that, okay, this is bringing up stored emotion. You're not going to feel it as intensely as you do in the beginning. In the beginning, it's just like, oh, and then it happens again. It's like, no, and then it happens again, and you're like, why? And you just feel like you're doomed. We start to like go through life with the lens of like, I just have bad karma or bad luck or my birth chart, like all of those, like wipe all those beliefs clean. It doesn't matter what your birth chart is. Yes, I mean, we sign up for our own experiences that will challenge and traumatize us, but I think at this point when we're in the point of evolving out of all of that, and we're just really releasing all the stored stuff from before. So walk in self-love and that understanding that this is actually getting cleared. This is getting cleared and dissolving a lot of these contracts that I was meant to learn from. We were very unconscious in our past, but it is important to, the little thing. It's, yes, Patsy, the little things in life, they actually mean a lot more to me. They truly do. I know when I was walking through like quicksand or mud, it was hard to, I would get the feeling with the birds and the animals and all of that, but then it would quickly go away and I'd go back into whatever was spinning around in my head. And I'm like, this is not me. This is, this is not me. There's an old version of me that was very pessimistic or I don't want to say pessimistic, but I was very guarded. I didn't trust a lot in life. And I know this journey asks for full trust. And you're only ready to fully trust when you're ready to fully trust. Let's just put it that way. Anywho, there was one other thing I was going to share. And it came through when I was talking and then it went away again. I'm having those moments too, where it's like I blank out. It'll come back. It'll come back. So a new creative venture is on the horizon. See it as a positive change. Oh, I remember now. When I had this other person's energy, I absorbed it. I know that this person is very lonely and sad. He had lost his wife. She passed away a year and a half ago. She was a friend of mine. Anyway, I'm laying in bed the other day and I got this overwhelming feeling of loneliness. Like it took over me like no other. Logically, I really shouldn't have that feeling because I'm not alone ever. But it was sad. And I just said out loud, I said to the guides, I'm like, I feel really lonely. And all of a sudden, Luna, my cat, she was like hiding somewhere. She jumps out of nowhere and jumps up on me and lays nudges in me. I'm like, oh, you heard me. That snapped me out of it. So animals are really helpful for that kind of stuff. And children too. The universe is going to send us all kinds of earth angels that are going to help us, that are helping us through this stuff. But they come through in forms of the little things that you got to really see is like, okay, I'm alone but not lonely. Yeah, like same. Usually I'm not, but I was definitely I had absorbed this other person's energy in a big, big way. I took it on and then couldn't clear it. It took me 2 days. It took me 2 days to clear it. Oh, and she's going to want to go outside again. Let me let her outside or she's going to... I know. Come on. Talk amongst yourselves. I know. She's so vocal. Can be scary sometimes, but it passes. Yes. Yeah. You know, when I felt really scared, I guess it was just my inner child. And actually, that was the card I pulled for myself when my tooth chipped or broke because I had a really intense experience that night. It threw my back out. The energy shot down the whole left side of my body, cracked my front tooth. Luckily, it was just in the back. I was able to get it fixed. But oh my God, that was a big jolt of energy. And the next morning when I couldn't get a dentist appointment, or I had to wait 2 days, I couldn't get a dentist appointment, I just felt like this lonely, like I needed a daddy or I wanted somebody to like make it better for me, you know? She needs to go out to clear her energy, I know. She brings back in the energy of the woods, the forest outside. She brings it back into me because it's too cold for me to go out there, but she'll bring it back in. Mm-hmm. Now I have a new... No, actually, I went to the original. He was the one who could get me in after all. But he was really kind and gentle this time. Hi. Hello. I know. I'm so glad. I'm so glad it all worked out too. I know, Luna. Yeah, no, I had gotten an appointment with a new dentist, but they couldn't take me until the end of April. And I was like, I finally had surrendered to like, all right, I'm gonna have to like live like this, because I called 6 dentists. Nobody could get me in until the end of April. And so when I surrendered, a couple hours later, I got a call from my original dentist. Oh, interesting, we're having a radio blackout. My original dentist's office called and said, oh, we have an opening tomorrow at 1:30. Can you come in? I'm like, yes. Sorry. I know. I didn't see. I can't see the chat all the time because it only gives me a little block, and then I have to scroll. I do need a moderator. I don't know how to do that. Anybody want to be the moderator? I don't even know if it's something I have to do on my end. We should probably figure this one out. Yeah, that one's better. I can see that one. I like it. All right. Mr. Wonderful. I should have known by the name, huh? It's in the studio? Okay. Is it something I have to set up before I go live, I think? Granny Paula is the mod, yeah. Queen of Cups. And this, I just got a whiff of that energy. This is the energy that we are connecting to. This is beautiful, connective energy to the quantum field, to our heart chakra, and feeling it all, feeling the love, feeling the high vibrations. Everyone's nominating you, Paula. And when we're in this energy, this is when we really want to put out our co-creative abilities. And practice with the quantum field. I think we're going to be a little shaky on that. So it's good to not have expectations or this deep desire, like it's got to happen or else, because it doesn't work that way. Oh, lovely. Oh my, I love this. I might kick someone off too quickly. It's funny. You know, sometimes I wonder, like I always wait, I'm like, wait for the next comment. I love this message. So overall energy, we have death and rebirth. And this is what we are going through. Again, another transmutation of old energies, stuck energies, purging purging traumas and denser energies, and moving beyond old paradigms and old belief systems. And when I say paradigms, even the paradigm, yeah, it's any kind of system that you believe in, you know. Moving beyond and into what it is that we know in our hearts can co-create, that we can create as a collective consciousness. And this includes justice and within the justice system. But we can't do it based out of anger or fear, because those energies won't transmute the current energy. We have to break free from those denser emotional energies and get into our heart and believe, trust that we actually are powerful co-creators. Natural law, yeah. And watch justice, watch the balance start to occur. And there we go again with the heart chakra. Ace of Cups. Unconditional love for humanity, for the planet. This is getting, I don't want to say it's getting serious, but we're getting to a point now, all of us light workers, and I mean all of us who incarnated onto the planet, which means all of us on here, with the intention of embodying the new light frequencies as they were coming onto the planet, which they are now. We're at that point, we're at that time, and holding that new light frequency, which assists in the entire collective doing the same, and the planet. Now, the planet's already elevated to the fifth dimension. And if you're able to actually tap into fifth dimensional energies, you can tell, you can see. And, we're multidimensional. So we go through the third, fourth, and fifth. Third is like you're in the density. It's just the matter, the material. Fourth, you're kind of in between. It's kind of an interesting place. But when you're in that fourth and fifth dimensional frequency, especially when you go outside, you start to see colors are more vibrant, textures are more, everything looks and feels and smells, everything is different because you're in a new frequency and you're embodying a higher vibration. He is siren. So it is all of us. That is really the definition of what a light worker is, a light holder, a light bearer. Some people, and that the more you start to embody this frequency of love, which we all are, of light, of compassion, listening versus listening to respond. Yes. The more we begin to really start to tap into, each and every one of us came here on a mission, and there's multiple ways to serve that mission. It doesn't mean that being a light worker, you have to be in the healing arts or metaphysics. It just means that you're embodying your heart more. Some people are grid workers, meaning they just live on certain parts of the planet and they connect to the earth and the earth grid. Naturally, if you feel drawn to certain places, to streams and rivers and bodies of water or certain areas, and they call to you, you most likely are a grid worker, and that part of the earth is calling you, and it gives to you, you give to it. So there's many different ways that we can start to embody this higher vibrational light frequency that we're all being flooded with, instead of fighting with it or complaining about it, because I mean it is uncomfortable to at first. It's uncomfortable at first, but once we get through some of these rough edges, and it is jaggedy energy, we're not smooth sailing here. We're like up and down, and when we're up, it feels great, or pulled back down, it's like, damn it. And you think you're going backwards, and you're not. You really aren't. Sometimes on the journey, a lot of times, especially in the beginning, it is like 2 steps forward, 4 steps back. And you get really hard and down on yourself. 2 more steps forward, 4 more steps back. But we get propelled forward, and we have assistance, and we are connected to our higher self. So again, the more you embody the higher frequency, the higher dimension, we can get into these different, all 3 dimensions at this time. We can do it in an instant. A lot of times we do, and we're not even, aware of it all the time. But I got a lot of messages coming in all of a sudden. The more we do go with the flow, the easier the ride. It's a lot of the times the resistance that causes us to have a little bit more suffering than we need to. And I'm guilty of that myself. None of us like to feel like crap. We don't like to feel pain. We don't like to feel deep, heavy emotions. And it's like, enough's already. We will be given a break. And I do see that happening. I see May as being a really nice month. April actually too. But there's could be some jagged edges in April's energy, and May is going to be interesting. I'm not promising anything. We all still have our own unique journey, and however we release energy and absorb energy and hold on to energy, the better and the easier the ride for each of us. But I'm just talking about additional planetary energies that are working to assist us in this process. But I like that, Patsy, listening to understand versus listening to respond. And that is very important quality that we should all embody as well. And I think that, in the past, again, when we were more unconscious and we were dealing with a lot of competition and comparison, and if you grew up in a big family like mine, it's like everybody out for themselves, and you tend to talk over each other. Although my mom was really good about that. She used a lot of indigenous cultural techniques with us, and we used the talking stick a lot if we had to talk as a family, because we would just talk over each other and not listen otherwise. But the talking stick really helps. So the only person that can talk is the one holding the stick, and you pass it around to each person, but everybody is meant to really listen and understand and absorb what the person with the talking stick is saying, and not feel like they are being judged or the fingers being pointed at them. Your ADHD has been crazy too. I've been experiencing a lot of that too, and my son said that as well. And that's a big common experience of light workers. That is very common, because it's not really like, I don't like to use the label, because that was designed by human Western medicine. It is because we hold a different frequency of light. We're born into the planet with a higher percentage of our light frequency, with the intention of anchoring more. And so we're not easily programmed. School is probably really, really boring or challenging to some degree to even pay attention. It's just like we don't really fit in this world the way it's been designed in the past. But we're also meant to change the world. So instead of calling ourselves ADHD or ADD, I like to think of it as I vibrate at a different frequency than others. I don't fit into that paradigm. I don't want to fit into that paradigm. I never did. And I want to create my own, or I want to co-create and build community with other people that resonate with the same. Like, we start to feel really, I don't want to say normal, but you know what I mean? Like, we start to resonate with each other and feel normal. Suddenly it's like, I don't have any problems. My mom used to talk too much and not listen. I know a lot of people like that. That's frustrating. It really is. Especially if it's your mom. I was very blessed. My mom was really, she was good. My mom was a good mom. We had other traumas and other experiences where I did learn how to check out, because that's what my mom did too. She's a Pisces, so she can easily just like float away into another world. And I'm like, wait a second, where'd you go? Or no talk, no listen. Yeah. And then that we developed certain patterns, right, from those experiences. But know that those are the patterns that we're working through to dissolve. And understand that was something that we all signed up to have these experiences for greater awareness, to clear out, to move away from. And that's also clearing for the family, for the entire soul pod that incarnated together. Head in the clouds nature. Yep. That was my mom. Not all the time, but 7 of materials. All right, that's that bridging energy. And we are bridging between the 3rd density and the 5th density. Okay. Justice again. I like this. Okay. I like this a lot. Okay. So this is a period in time. And we all can kind of feel that. I don't really necessarily call it the in-between, but it is still sort of an in-between zone, in between the old ways of being, the old paradigm, the old frequency into the new, because we are actually now walking that bridge into the new, into this new creative experience that is on the horizon. We're on that bridge, and what is she doing? She's taking her time. She's looking down, her shoe's untied. She's like, let me tie my shoe so I don't trip. Let me stop and smell the roses. Let me not race through this part of the journey and skip steps and miss some important things that I'm meant to understand, clear, wisdom that's gained. So it's a slower part of the journey. Hi, Steph. I saw that. It's a slower part of the journey. Yet the reason why, and I think we're all starting to get a good taste of this, is because there's like some painful stuff that's coming to an end. Slowly, slowly get you, monkey. Yeah. It's the ending. The ending of some painful memories, painful experiences, and we really want to put them to bed once and for all. So that, and that does require healing. It requires this clearing, this purging, this cleansing, and then having this renewal, this renewed energy, which opens us up to our wishes, our dreams, our hopes. Wish upon a star. The star is very healing. But yeah, we're taking our time meticulously, making sure that we don't trip and fall, making sure that we don't skip any steps. Oh, we got a solar flare. We got some solar activity going on right now. Making sure we don't skip any steps, because Pluto always keeps track of all the steps that we skip, and still squaring the nodes. We still have some hard aspects that we're working through, including Chiron in the North Node. Pluto's, I don't know if Pluto's squaring the node. I think Pluto's still squaring the nodes. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We don't want to keep skipping steps, because that slows down the progress. So yeah, and being patient with ourselves and the journey. And I think that's one of the things that I do appreciate Jeff Brown, like, pointing certain things out, because there are people out there that are like, by April, everything's clear and we're in the new paradigm, like giving these big hopes and wishes, which is good for morale. But then, like, when things don't actually turn out that way, we become jaded and disappointed and frustrated in ourselves and the journey itself. So it's like, be present, be in the now, and feel yourself, feel the energy, feel your energy, what's surrounding your energy, be in your body, and be present to what thoughts arise, what emotions surface, and unconsciously, I must have been really pushing away or swallowing down certain memories or emotions. Yeah, I know that I was now, just maybe not even unconsciously. Again, it's robotic. It's like something in my body. And I think we all have this to one degree or the other. Naturally does, especially if you're in the middle of doing something and all of a sudden this wave of emotion comes up and you're around people and stuff. You're like, whew, you're shaking your head. But yeah, universe had to bring somebody in and finish up that job for me so I would actually release that energy, which is good. You know, all in all, it's good. I have no gripes or grudges. Here's a beautiful energy of just finally when we are cleared of old stuff, old garbage, old baggage. It's not really garbage or baggage. It is our experiences, our painful experiences, emotions, beliefs about ourselves. I'm not lovable. I'm not worthy. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I don't know what I'm doing. All of that stuff, release it. Release it. You get to a place of the uncluttered mind. Because when you're in the uncluttered mind, the thoughts are not cluttered up there and just wreaking havoc. That's when we can really tap in and connect to our higher self and to connect to the quantum field, which holds infinite possibilities. We can also receive communication, receive information and guidance, and continue constantly receiving the guidance. It's always there. It's just when we're in the third dimensional frequency and we're in fear or lack or doubt or any of that stuff, we're not going to pick that up. We're not even going to recognize it's around there. Hi, Jane. Hi there. Blessings from London. Oh, Patsy, another person from London. That's awesome. So overall, we have justice. Again, second time around. And there we are. We're peeling back layers and layers of time and experiences that we no longer want to carry with us, bringing a nice balance into our frequency, into our energy. I really like that a lot. That feels good. That feels good. I like this reading. It's very positive, and I don't really, let's see if we can get any other, what do we want to use here? Oh, we have not read from this deck in a long time. Okay. Or are we doing this one? I really need to start shifting my decks around and bringing out some new ones, or not new ones, oldie but goodies. What do we want to ask? Let's just get some advice. Yeah. Let's get some advice. Yeah, I think so too. Thank you guys for all being in here and a part of this. I'm like so confused as to what day of the week it is even. Like it almost feels like a weekend because I did not even, I didn't go to work. I didn't do anything today but read. Yeah, Patsy, Jane's from London too. Any Leos in tonight? I'm a Leo moon. Yeah, Patsy's a Leo moon. All right. Get some advice. Judgment, Queen of Cups. Huh. I just heard waking up to the truth, more truth, more truth. Good truth. Yes. So waking up the truth of who we are truly in our being, in our inner being, how truly powerful we are. We've all had experiences where we call them miracles, miraculous things happen, synchronicities, things just pop up, things just happen. They don't happen by coincidence. We are part of that co-creation. It's just a matter of getting to the level of consciousness and frequency where we can consciously co-create. So, okay. Another Ten of Swords. Oh, it's the same. Okay. Okay. So waking up to the truth of who we are, how important each and every one of us, how important it is that we are here on this planet at this time, having this human experience. And it had been infiltrated for a long time. So we've been under mind control, programming, conditioning, and we're breaking free from that. So understanding our negative self-talk is not even really coming from us. It's kind of like, how do we say? It doesn't matter anymore. Recognize how important you are, how loved you are, how many beings, interdimensional galactic beings, are watching over all of us. This is like the show to watch, is us. So if you think you have privacy, check again. How important and special and brave I'm hearing, and they just keep saying important. There's a lot here. We've got to give ourselves some credit here and continue on this journey of awakening to our true selves. And we are going to be able to co-create more of a new paradigm, more of a beautiful collaborative experience. There are so many more that are waking up in consciousness and are looking for connection and recognizing how we are all one. There is unity consciousness, but we're also having an individual experience at the same time. And yeah, dropping into the heart, feeling compassion and love for ourselves, for humanity, for the life experience. Your environment determines your behavior. Very much so. Very much so. But I think that's another thing that overall we're breaking free from. So if you find yourself, and like, we don't have to stay in these certain contracts. That's when the contracts begin to dissolve, whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship or family or the environment that you've stayed in. When you no longer find resonance and there's no longer any harmonious experiences, it's your choice to stay or to go. But we are free to go and have our own experience, to find our resonance and what we harmonize with, what is in alignment with us. And the company you keep, very much important. It is important. And I've had to say goodbye to a lot of people in my life over the past 6 or 7 years, and it was really sad. But I'll tell you what, some of those people have come back, and they've come back enlightened and awakened and in alignment with me again. So, and I'm not saying that that's for everybody, but like I said, it's always a choice, but we have to first feel our way through our life experiences. And if it does not feel like you're in alignment or you're in resonance anymore, that is a huge indicator of the universe saying, this contract is done, it's over, it's dissolving, it's null and void. And It's your choice. You're free to go or you're free to stay, but that's your choice. And a lot of times we will stay longer than we're meant to. I know I did. Um, but it gets harder and harder and more uncomfortable. And the more our energy and our frequency starts to elevate, suddenly, I mean, there were certain people when I was in their presence, I physically would get sick. That's how long I stayed. And the more I stayed, the more it affected me physically. And I was like, I have to part ways with these people. Hmm. Question, birth chart. Would you recommend a parent reading their child's? Yeah, like I guess it depends on the age. I know I gave my son the birth chart for my grandson, not that he was going to read it, but I just gave it to him anyway. Um I think that it's good to have an understanding, but then at the same time, you have to understand that they still have to play out and have the experiences that they're meant to, that are mapped out on their birth chart. And there's no time. Like, there's free will. So whenever the universe brings these experiences is when the universe is going to bring these experiences. So if you're doing it from an enlightened perspective where you just have an understanding of what they're going through and you're not trying to change them or not trying to direct them in any way, I say yeah. But if you're in a position where you want to try to control your child, because especially because now I know you have got this and this and this, like that actually could do more harm than good. That's just my opinion. I know from being a control freak in my past, and it didn't help to have more knowledge than I was ready for. It probably did more harm than good at sometimes. And, you know, sometimes unsolicited advice is not well received. That's what I was talking about, the fear of their future. Yeah, and you don't want to do that. Especially because like I said, birth charts are not necessarily timed. You don't know when these things are going to happen. When their experiences are going to be happening. And you can't really pinpoint exactly what the experience is going to be, but knowing that like I actually regret doing my grandson's birth chart when he was born because I saw some things I'm like, ooh, and I got real protective, like I'm gonna stop that. No, the universe is like, you can't stop that. You can't. And so sometimes it's better to just go with the flow, you know. Maybe reading material before you die. That's right. I didn't really start getting into doing charts until after I was having some metaphysical and otherworldly experiences. And then I was like, I need to understand this better. And I think it's just for I think it's a great map to help guide or understand what your lessons are so you're not repeating them over and over and over again. But on the flip side, I kind of stopped. I got really sucked into astrology. I was even in astrology school, like I lived it. And I literally lived life like that's this transit and that's Mars, and like I wasn't actually experiencing life because I was just like, instead of going for a beautiful hike, I was reading the map. You know what I mean? I wasn't seeing the scenery. My mom studied birth charts when I was a child. I'm going to read mine again for the 87th time. They're hard to read, I'm telling you. I find that it's easier to, yeah, there's so much more to the charts than than what we first get. We get a first glance and then you can dive in deeper, and there's so much. It's an exact science, but it is and it's fascinating. But there's so much. I still don't like. I kind of backed off of it, and I intuitively will read. I'll intuitively look at the chart, look at the transits. I don't even always look at mine. I just look at the collective and then get my intuitive messages off of that. I find that's easier for my personal journey. Linda Goodman's sun sign started her off. How can you find out your chart? You can go, there are so many websites online that you can get your chart. If you know your birth date and time, you got to know your time of birth and where you were born. Plug it in. I think try astro.com. Or just Google free birth chart. There's a lot of sites that will do a free birth chart for you. Now, it won't read it, but it will give you the chart. You have to pay to get extra information. And I can even do that, but my computer's down right now, so I took that service off of my website until I get a new computer. But yeah, you can get a free one online. The houses are interesting. Yes, I dive into the houses more, definitely. And then understanding the energy, like, uh, so for me, like Scorpio is in my second house. Pluto rules Scorpio. So you got to look at Pluto. You got to look at the ruling planet of the sign and the house. And then the opposing house and opposing sign is sort of your breakthrough, how to clear through a challenge in one house is from the opposing house. So it's really interesting. I only chosen one by the Most High. Okay. Paula, were you going to say something? Are you still there? Oh my. Yeah. I don't know. So back to here. Where were we here? Awakening to our truth. Awakening to who we are, like how important we actually are. Not in an egotistical way, but how important we really are. Why we're here. We're assisting the planet right now because she was going backward in frequency. The planet was infiltrated with a lot of other fourth dimensional beings and stuff, all the way up until they got cleared during the harmonic convergence, which I keep bringing that up. 1986, something like that. I think I said 98 before, but it was 80s. It was the 80s. Anyway, she finally made it to a 50% late quotient. So now she can no longer go backwards. She's held in a fifth dimensional grid. So now it's up to us to help continue to her and us and humanity collectively absorb this light like we're getting right now. We're getting solar flares. Absorb this frequency that's coming in and start to create a new paradigm, a new earthly experience for ourselves. So eventually we won't have to play by the same old paradigm rules and things. Actually, we can even shift out of them, a lot of them, as we're shifting our vibration and our frequency. 98, thank you. Yeah. Oh, I said 98 before, but I think it was the 80s. It was. Pretty sure it was the 80s. I want to say 86. Anyway, I know it was before I graduated high school because I graduated high school in 1990. So it had to have been like the late 80s, I'm pretty sure. But I might have said 98 before. But I knew it was also before my son was born in 94. I remember the shift. I remember my mom being like a part of something, like a collective meditational group working to help, like she did grid work to help raise the frequency and boost it. So there are a lot of light workers that were born in that generation between the 1950s and 60s that were doing a lot of work just to get to that point. And now a lot of them are still on the planet here, you know, our parents and people that we know. But we're also here to collectively participate in that as well. You moved to London in 86. Huh. That's interesting. She was running away. She must have been going through. I mean, and that's the thing. When this shift happened, it opened up a lot of chaos and a lot of, it opened up a lot of heavy emotions for people that, if they weren't prepared for it, were going down the deep end, so to speak. And I know my father was one also. He went off the deep end around that time too. So, holding compassion, love, empathy. Again, same repeating message here. Slow and steady. Make sure to not skip steps. And pick up on all the messages that we're receiving, all of the signs, all the synchronicities, all the learning, you know, that we can gain so much wisdom from our past experiences. Lots of numbers, I know. Queen of Wands. And follow our passion. Follow our passion. What is propelling you? What is calling to you? What actually makes your heart sing? You know? Where do you feel magical, powerful in your life? What brings you to that space? But we have the everything's fine, one of my favorite cards. Everything's fine. Follow your bliss. That's right. So we're ending a lot of, here we go. There's the card of rest, resting the mind, uncluttering the mind, ending a lot of this anxiety, fear, all the stuff that's been programmed into us, traumatized into us. Release, 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 release. Don't pretend like everything's fine when you've got 10 swords in your side and just looking at your phone. Turn your phone off. I'm hearing this, like, turn the phone off and take time to really process those emotions and release them, you know? That's my life right there. I felt like that last week too. Like, everything's fine. It's fine. It wasn't, but it was. Oh my. Let's get one last message for us all. From the Oracle of the Seven Energies. You know, and I'm actually feeling really rejuvenated just doing this live and like having this interaction with you guys. So thank you. And reading the cards. I know that like usually when I get into readings, it just, I get into that flow. And I found myself getting like, I would get messages, but then I was getting tired. Like, it was almost like I had to take an energetic break myself, you know, but I feel really good now. Now I feel good. So I'm learning to go with the flow and not force things to happen. Make things happen the old way. Yeah, I was really programmed big time to work hard and don't give up and keep going, and if it doesn't work, keep trying, try a different way, and all that stuff, you know, all that old school stuff. And not by my mom, but that was like my dad. That's the masculine energy, which is also changing and shifting on the planet. I'm not saying males, but I mean, most men do hold more masculine energy than females because of how we're designed, but not all. Us females, I mean, honestly, it took me a long time to fully embrace and embody the feminine energy within me and collectively. I'm going to go read and not think about anything else tonight. Just be at peace. Yes. Yes. I've been drinking a lot of herbal tea. That's been helping. Reading, just getting yourself into that nice, comfy, cozy, quiet space. And yeah, get out of those thoughts. My dad was a worker. My dad too. And then it would seem like every boss like that I would get when I started working at a very young age, too young actually. Every boss I had was like, they were all like ex-military, like they were very bossy, very demanded a lot, and knew that I would deliver a lot. Like I worked all the time. I worked overtime. All I wanted to do was please the men in my life, not please them, but show them that I could do it. Yeah, I was proving a point more than anything. Peace. I lit a lilac candle because it reminds me of my great grandma. Oh, that sounds nice. Lilac candle. Yeah, you know, I've been getting a lot of memories of my grandparents, and I think they've been coming to visit me energetically, but there are certain smells and certain things that remind, yeah, and you just like get this warm, fuzzy feeling, you know. We have imperfect harmony. Candle gazing is good too. It's really good to kind of get you out of your mind when you can't get outside in nature. And I have so many crystals and pieces of nature in here, like I bring them inside, but light a candle and just sort of gaze at the flame and let it sort of dance and talk to you. It's always really nice. Let's read it. In perfect harmony. And it speaks about how we all have our own energetic signature, but then we also are meant to harmonize together and not one note stand out over the other, but like be in sync. Where's the book? It's a number 11 also for any of you number people out there. I've been catching numbers too. I had a really in-depth and exciting text conversation going on earlier today, and like somebody asked me a really important question, and I had a big intuitive hit that came out, and it was 1111. I'm like, oh, and it's 1111 too. Mood lights, color changing, nice. You're entering a time of healthy, harmonious partnerships. Collaboration is key as you're invited to explore the potential inherent in making a commitment to another person, a group, or to even yourself. Know that you're bringing different gifts to the table. You don't have to be in exact locksteps with everyone. Being your authentic self actually brings you into alignment with others. You are a note in a harmony that neither overpowers nor is overpowered by any other. Your beautiful interdependence allows you all to shine. I just want to stop here because it's coming up again, like something that you said, Patsy, because I think a lot of us have had these experiences with others where they didn't listen, and they would either talk over us or only listen to be able to say what they wanted to say. So we weren't really jiving or syncing or aligning with each other. I think that's coming to an end, where we're actually forming harmonious connections where it's effortless. You don't have to worry about being overpowered or someone stealing your energy. Also the energy vampires and stuff like that. This is why a lot of us have had to take a lot of time to ourselves in hermit mode and regain our energy, because going through these big energetic shifts, if you're getting blasted by others that are pulling on your energy or pulling you down, it's just like the universe, we use our intuition. It's like, I need time to myself here. Effortless, yes. your beautiful interdependence allows you all to shine. Just keep an eye out for a sign that your subconscious, which has been conditioned by your previous hurts and experiences, is working in a way not in accord with what your healthy self intends. For example, you may desire a healthy relationship but expect to be betrayed, so you unconsciously sabotage it. You say you want to lose weight but continue to eat compulsively and avoid exercise. In these moments, you're not in attunement with yourself, and this disharmony spills out into all other parts of your life. If this is happening, you might want to take a hard look at yourself, do a self-inventory, forgive yourself, and start singing a new song of self-love and acceptance. What's really great about this is how quickly you are now able to turn this around. Have no fear. It's so easy to get back into tune. All it takes is self-honesty and a willingness to heal. You can do it. This really is a fortunate time. And yes, learning healthy boundaries. And I think that's definitely was a huge lesson that I was learning in the last couple of years. And it's like not to push anybody away, but to have those strong, healthy boundaries. It does require being honest and truthful. To the degree, and a lot of us are empaths, we don't want to hurt somebody else's feelings, and we know like when we're going to speak our truth, they're going to feel hurt. But on the flip side, we're only doing ourselves more harm than good when we're not being completely authentic to ourself and our truth and our energy. The biggest lessons for me. I know how it feels. Yeah. Definitely. So I think that's what's turning around also is now that we understand healthy boundaries and know actually what it is that we want to connect with people effortlessly, and it's not going to take from us, but we're actually going to be able to have this nice confluence has been the word for me, man, for the last week or two. And that's actually, I kept trying to find, because I have two streams and they connect right out like where I live. It's called a confluence. And I'm like, that's what it's called. And that's a very sacred spot when two bodies of water connect and form into one and flow in perfect harmony. So that's what I have for us all. And I'm thinking I might be throwing out the elements this week. I'm probably not going to do all 12 zodiac just because I'm flowing with the energy and being really pulled back into slowing myself down. I'm getting a lot of downloads. I'm getting a lot of information, not just for myself. And I love to share my experiences because I know that I'm not the only one having them. And I know we're all going through this energetic upgrade together. So the more we can be in communication about it and share our experiences, and that just, it helps. It really does. It helps build this beautiful community. So yeah, go find your tree and get comfy. That's right. Thank you guys all for joining. It's so good to have this connection. And we have 2 people from London connecting now too. That's awesome. So I hope you have a great night or day wherever you are in your neck of the woods. And I'll be back soon, I'm sure. Take care. Love you guys. Bye.